Fulfillment, fulfilling your journey in life. What is happening, my amazing friends? It is your career coach, recruiter, singing guy, Phil at FulPHILLment. Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is going to be a freaking amazing live. Please let us know where you're tuning in from. If you are tuning in on either of our LinkedIn pages, our YouTube channel, Facebook, please give us a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We love seeing your comments. We love getting your feedback. Ask some educated and wonderful questions. We are all here for it, y'all. This is FulPHILLment Live, Season 3, Episode 12. Crazy, right? Hard to believe. I can't believe it. Like, time's flying by, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, we're here now, and we're excited to bring my amazing friend and my partner, Brooke Wheeler, to the stage. So Brooke, a little bit about her, and then I'll bring her up on stage, right? So Brooke, she is a recruitment leader, right? She is a friend of mine. She's our business partner here. She's the founder, right? Primary talent advisor, CEO, and coach of her own company, right? Restoration Talent Solutions. And I knew, right, when I first met Brooke on LinkedIn, I want to say it's been almost a year, hard to believe. I knew from the get-go, I knew as I wanted to get more partners with the brand, I wanted to partner with her in a heartbeat. We have we've got some amazing things coming up in the pipeline as friends and as partners. And we got Steven, our good friend Steven, in the house. Thanks for being here, man. Again, folks, please let us know where you're tuning in from. It is going to be awesome. I'm going to get the chat up for comments. Steven, buddy, thanks for being here, man, from New York. Good to see you, brother, man. I appreciate you. We got to catch up soon, man. We got Carrie in the house from Atlanta. It's good to see you, friend. Oh, goodness. It was awesome celebrating you yesterday because Carrie started her own business as well. Oh, my gosh, a lot of exciting people coming on stage. Okay, so without further ado, I'm getting excited. I'm getting ahead of myself, y'all. It was fun in one of those days. Okay, we're going to bring Brooke up on the stage here. So let me get her going here. Brooke. Brooke, you're live with us, my friend.
Hi, Phil. Oh my gosh, I've been like partying over here in my backstage room. So this is so fun. I love being with you.
I know it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so good. I mean, we got Stephen and Carrie, of course, in the house,
Hi,
folks.
guys.
It's good to see y'all. Yes, and for those in the audience, please don't be shy. Give us a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We got lovely David Hansen from Cali, Southern Cali. David, so I will be in LA County. What am I? Well, I maybe in a few months. I don't know. I'll get back with you though, David, because I'd love to meet you someday. But all these amazing people in the house coming up. Don't be shy. Give us the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. All right, let's get started. So Brooke. So I shared a little bit about who you are, but for those folks in the audience who may not know who you are and what you do, let them know. Could you share a little bit about who you are and your story?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Carrie. I can't believe we've only known each other a year and you're right. It was at it was actually, it's not even a year. It was at a LinkedIn local event that you
Yeah.
host. And I popped in and, was going with Carrie and Anna Morgan, and they were like, you got to meet Phil. And within, 2 days, we were like, we're now best friends. Like, and I think that's how you are with everyone. You're such an engaging person and people are drawn to you. So I'm grateful to you to bringing me into your fold. But a little bit about me, I was thinking about this and I was like, this is going to be we can segue into job seekers on how to answer the tell me about yourself question that we
We can
get
do
in
whatever you
interviews
want because it's very
because
unscripted. So
it's
yeah.
it's hard not to want to tell everything about yourself, right? When you get asked that question. But just a quick overview. I am a talent acquisition leader. I have been in recruiting for 28 years. It goes by super fast, you guys, but agency recruiter, in-house corporate recruiter. My last role, I was VP of talent acquisition at a fast-growing fintech company, and I love my job. I love what I get to do. Unfortunately, like so many of the rest of us, I was laid off. We were bought, and the new company had different ideas. So, unfortunately, they started with recruiting department and moved on from there. But so I was in my full-time job search last year, just doing everything I thought possible, going, what the heck is happening in this market? I mean, like the rest of the world, you kind of never had to look as much as you have now. It's insanity, regardless. So I'm kind of a job search dropout, Phil, because I
Mhm.
looked at my husband and said, if I'm going to work this hard and hustle this hard with nothing at the end, there was people weren't hiring directors of TA very much for the thousands of us that are in the market last year. Why don't I just try to make $1? Why don't I just open my own company? Because it's always been there, right? The why don't you just? So I did it. We in a weekend, we had a magic free weekend. We created my website for Restoration Talent Solutions. My husband built the website. He's super creative software engineer. And we just started, I was like, I'll just start calling some people. And I've been working with clients. My goal is to help companies, small growing companies, create their own internal recruiting department so they
Yeah.
can learn and I can teach them how to attract, how to hire the best talent, how to have a great candidate experience, how to have a standardized recruiting process so that when you're getting these thousands of applicants, how to find that needle in a haystack that's going to be the right fit for your company.
Mm. And that's truly right there, like one of the reasons, one of the main reasons. I mean, there's all these different reasons. So they're one of the main reasons why, folks, that I wanted to partner with Brooke because number one, I can learn from her still. She can learn from me, but we all, and I say this too, just as a coach and stuff, and I've said this all the time. Like we all have our own value and our own uniqueness and impact, even if we do the same thing. Like, oh, she's a recruiting
Yeah,
leader. Oh, I'm a recruiting leader. Oh, Carrie's a recruiting leader. You know, we all do the same thing, but we have our own angles and our own approach to it, which is
right.
crazy. So like that's a really good segue too into like a good question that's kind of in my mind, I'm sure the audience as well. And David, I know you're tuning in too, but we appreciate you being here, man. So no worries if you can't comment. But for those folks tuning in and listening, right? The market is complex, right? The job market's complex, but I also wanted to say the workforce is also complex because it's complex all around, right? And society's changed a lot. We've seen a lot of like things in technology, but let's just kind of start there, right? Like there's so much complexity in the market. How can people differentiate themselves? How can they really show their uniqueness in their career, right? Whether they're job seeking, whether
Mhm.
they want to make a career change, whether they're a company and they're looking to hire, and scale up talent, right? They've also got to differentiate. So maybe as a two-sided question, how can these companies and how can these job seekers just differentiate and just show their uniqueness out
Right.
there, right?
Well, first you have to figure that out. Um, and that's what I spent this past year trying to figure that out because and probably you as a recruiter, you're really good at branding your company that you're working for or the people that you're recruiting for. But when I was now on the job hunt, I was like, who am I? Like Brooke doesn't have a brand. So you really do have to do some internal work to find out and really kind of get the words right. Like I took the Clifton Strengths, I took the Barrett personal values, I think, and ChatGPT is my friend, so ChatGPT tells me a lot about my brand also. But really, like, what is it about Brooke that's different from Phil, that's different from Carrie? You're a guinea pig today, Carrie, and
Yeah.
and then start marketing that. I wrote a post earlier in the year, and I think that was what strikes people so hard in this job market is you can't just apply. Like you have to be, unfortunately, a little bit overnight, an expert marketer, an expert at interviewing, an expert at storytelling. So you can either decide to be upset about that, or you can learn that really quickly. As we know, hire a career coach if needed. But you have to know who you are. And it's the same for companies also. Companies have marketing departments, companies have a brand, an employer brand, an employee brand. And you really do have to get very clear on what that looks like. and write it down. And just today, I was career coaching with someone else, and I was like, I literally feel like I need to write down my brand every morning, and like, just like any other mantra, like say it out loud.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of people, a lot of companies that are competing for candidates, a lot of candidates competing for jobs, and it's easy to get lost in the mix if you're not clear on yourself.
Mm.
But
Oh,
it's we're trying to attract, and you attract what you're putting out, if you will, right?
that's in tune over here. Puns intended too, man. You know it. It definitely makes sense. For sure. And I love how you tied that just into both like the job seeker side and the business side, right? Companies have to differentiate. They
Yeah,
have to show their, employer value proposition, their EVP. But it's you can even take it a step further, right? Like they can't just say, "Hey, here's what makes me different." But I think it's important to show how, right? How you're different,
right, right.
right? How
And
can
that's the storytelling,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, dig deeper into that. How can people show that they're different,
Right.
right?
So I've been doing a lot of work helping people with their LinkedIn, just LinkedIn optimization. And sorry, my dog is growling at nothing. So if you hear, it's not me. It's not. I'm not starving to death over here.
Oh,
But
I love it.
anyway, um, so I've been coaching people on their LinkedIn profiles, and a lot of people, I this year have optimized my LinkedIn more than ever. I've been using it for 20 years. I just learned my anniversary was 20 years.
Yeah.
There's so much more you can do on LinkedIn to kind of, amp up. Is that a modern word? This feels like my
Amp up,
mom would say.
amplify. Mhm.
Yes, amplify. That's a Phil word. Yeah. But there's so much you can do there. And people are scared to post, and not everyone, but when I try to advise folks like, hey, you really should post a couple of times a week, I can just see them like having a small panic attack. But you don't have to go and like be an influencer. I'm not trying to make anyone like just pour their heart out on LinkedIn, but you can tell stories of impact that you've made. I was at a company, like I told a story once, I walked in the door, and before I could find like setting up my printer, someone walked in with 100 jobs and said, please fill these in 3 months. And then I told the story of what I did. Like, these are the first three things I did. So it's storytelling. It's telling
Yeah.
people your impact, because we're doing that as job seekers. We're doing that behind the scenes with all of our star interview answers that we're writing out. Just turn that, and ChatGPT, turn that into a LinkedIn post and just try it out for a couple of times. But so when you apply, someone comes and looks at your LinkedIn profile, they get that validation that, oh, she's done this. And have your referrals say the same things about you too, your recommendations, but they
Yeah.
see it's just like an extra validation that I think Brooke could probably nail this job. She's done it before.
I love it. No, I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. And I love
right?
how I love how you talked about too, and I'm sure the audience too as well, like, yes, applying is still critical, like within the process, but differentiating as far as taking it a step further, having that optimized LinkedIn profile, but even just, being unique within your story. The storytelling, huge. I mean, obviously me, right? For folks out there who don't know, I call myself the singing career coach and recruiter, right? Because I sing
Yeah,
opera, but it ties into like the actual tune into framework that I do with my clients to help them obtain a fulfilling career or job opportunity, right? So like that's what makes it unique. And I'm with you. Like when you responded here, it kind of brought me back memories like when I very first started. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm scared as heck. I don't want to do this. What are people going to think? How are they going to perceive me if I do the singing stuff? What's going to happen? So I want to kind of talk about um like imposter syndrome a little bit. So we've got
yeah.
some other folks here too. Ignacio, thanks for being here, man. From Argentina, currently in the ATL. Hey, well, we got to hang out and catch up
I
because we're both here in
know.
Atlanta. That's awesome. So thanks for tuning in, man. Imposter syndrome, right? So
Yeah,
obviously that's a common theme out there. We all have it. I've had it. I had it the other
it's
day, like when
right,
I was going to do some stuff and I got over it. But how can folks navigate through the imposter syndrome, especially with
right.
all the noise and all the complexities out there?
I mean, yeah, it's for real. I
Just
wish there's a book that I'm not going to flip through it right now, but I'm reading a book by a new friend of mine named John Ray. He works with the North Fulton Chamber of Commerce. He does a lot with the Chamber of Commerce. I was on his podcast. but he has a business consulting company. He wrote a book called The Generosity Mindset. And he goes through, it's really about building a business and how to believe in yourself more than anything, with some very tactical tips and tricks. But he mentions imposter syndrome, but there's something else that he mentions that I think is the better word. And I'm going to beat myself up because I can't think of exactly what he said, but it's
Yeah.
more of a fear of incompetency.
Mm,
And I think that's where imposter syndrome comes from. And it's like that mantra, that everyday mantra you have to tell yourself. Because right now I've been officially unemployed for over a year. And I have days where I'm like, I'm never going to work again. How did I even do my job? Am I any good at that? And then, well, first I call someone who has worked with me to remind me, like, remember that can we cuss, badass thing that we
yeah.
did? You can still do that. Like, that is still you. You did that. So I think it is remembering all the things that you did, and keep a brag book for yourself, because um, it's just imposter syndrome. It's just one of those things you wish you could just flick and it was gone. But you really do have to remind yourself of the amazing things that you've done. But even if it's not a very specific thing that you've done, just, I've gone through hard things and I've been able to overcome them with my grit, or as Carrie tells me, with my gumption. And just every day remind yourself that you can do hard things and just keep pushing.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I love that. We've got Shri, my friend Shri, in the house. Shri, thanks for being here, friend.
I'm so
Shri's also,
glad
yeah.
singing is not a prerequisite to be on this. Sorry to interrupt you talking to
No, no. I
Sheree.
mean, that's the thing. I tell you, I've loved being able to do this a little bit later in the day because I usually do these in the morning. But like, there's something about the audience is here for sure later on. So I may just keep this as a cadence and just say, hey, we'll do it at 6 Eastern. Shri
Yeah.
also says here,
Nice to meet you, Sheree.
love that idea. Remind yourself of,
Right.
and it's like, remind yourself of what you've been through. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
One of the things too, I've said this on a previous live, and I think as far as some of the tips that I like to do is when I think about imposter syndrome, and I think about like where I'm at and like how I can navigate daily affirmations, the stuff you talked about earlier. I think about people in my life, right? So
Yeah.
I tell folks all the time, even in my coaching calls, handwrite type maybe a list of people. Like I've got maybe, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 15 people on here, close family, friends. And this is what helps me every day, right? I look at this paper every single freaking day of my life, whether I'm having a crappy morning or I'm having a good morning. And I'm reminded, right, that these people are in my life no matter what I'm going through, right? No matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm doing. So I tell
Mhm.
people too, think about that. Stephen has a comment here. Let me get Shri real quick. Shri, nice to meet you as well. Stephen, let's see. Okay, Stephen is a comment awesomeness person right here. I'm going to read the whole thing. Stories make you matter. I'm not looking for a job right now, but if I was a job seeker and I was figuring out how to deliver my story, I'd think similarly to how voice actors and actresses and singers, right, Stephen, narrate documentary narrate documentaries. They don't tell everything. They get to the point and they draw interest on a topic by focusing on why it matters. Steven's interesting because Steven is, he works in a library. He's a phenomenal librarian. So his Instagram, his LinkedIn's, he's for, like Steven in the library. So he's very, 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 very smart. Good friend of mine for sure. Thanks for the comment, Steven. We really like that a lot.
Yeah.
Shri again here. I love that list. It's so true. There are people who are rooting for it. Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
There are
And
more. Yeah,
I
good.
I love that you have it right there.
It's right there.
Right there. I'm gonna do that. I'm kind of a laptop nomad in my house. I've got to get myself set up with an actual office. But yeah, I need it on my computer. I used to have the word, when I first started my business, I had the word stamina.
Oh yeah.
Was my phrase that I had to look at every day, because when you're not working, when you get out of that schedule, you don't have the life of a full-time job. Like, it would have been easy to just move right over to the couch and nomad right over there. But I knew that, like, my stamina is what was going to get me to the next level. It's what got me where I am right now.
I'm with you on that for sure, and I'm with you. Like, yeah, we want to be so tempted to just not do anything and just to kind of, and look, it's okay to like take those breaks. I always say all the time, like rest, reflect, prepare in order to succeed. Like
Mhm.
those are my key ingredients for success: rest, reflect, prepare. Um, because we need those breaks. But yeah, we'll talk about another question too, because it actually had me think of another cool question. Let me just get David's comment here as well. Phil Davis, PHR, your singing music theme makes me stand out and showcases your wonderful personality, Phil personality, and your professional expertise is why to hire you. Exactly, and I really do appreciate that, David. And that's the thing too. Like LinkedIn doesn't have to be all professional. I mean, I think it is at the end of the day. Yes, it is a professional platform around like career stuff and job seeker things and like insights, but it is also an extension of you, right? Like it is your own website if you think about it. LinkedIn is. So adding a
Mhm.
spark of personality into like your professional value and impact there is huge. That's why I do the
Right.
singing stuff for sure. I love it. But we want to talk about motivation a little bit, Brooke, because one of the things you talked about too was being a nomad and stuff like that, which again is important for breaks. But let's say there are folks out there where they're seeing all this complexity in the market, right? And it becomes very easy and tempting to just be like, all right, I'm going to quit. I'm going to give up, right? I'm going to sit on the couch. I'm not going to do anything. How can they turn that mindset around, right? What are some
Yeah.
things that they can do, right? That can get them back up on their feet and say, you know what? I don't cuss a lot, but I'll do it. Damn it. I'm going to make it happen.
I started a bad trend there.
Oh, you're good.
Um, yeah, we've all been there for sure. We've all been there. And, um, one of the first things that I did when I started my job search and then started my business is I did pretty quickly create that structure around my day with I have a huge color coded time blocker on my calendar. Um, but if you look at my calendar right now, there's an hour and a half in the middle of the day it is walk this loud dog. She's being good right now. Eat lunch, move my body, and you have to know like what it is that obviously you have an end goal, and that is to provide for yourself and your family if you have other people that are depending on you, and that's the big driver. And it's easy to get like laser focus on, if I don't take a break, I won't make any money. If I don't apply to 20 jobs today, I'm never going to get hired again. So you do have to kind of come back out of that and just say, I use the term income producing activities. I used to be in sales for a jewelry company a long time ago, and they would always say, what are you doing today that's an income producing activity? And what are you doing today that is just scrolling Instagram thinking that you're actually doing something important? Um, or LinkedIn, what have you. So I'm kind of going off the rails a little bit here, but I'll
No,
get to
great.
your but so through that, we're talking about motivation. And I think it's maybe you have a goal. Maybe it is, I need to apply to 20 jobs this week. And that's your motivation, is to hit that goal. Maybe though, your motivation is, hey, I want to do what I can to make sure I'm, getting myself out there, but I also want to train for a 5K. Why not? I have the time a little bit. So I think you've got to find, again, we're finding our brand, we're finding what we're great at, but we're also finding like what fulfills us. Because you probably never took that time when you were working full time and grinding it out. So you really do have to look at that. And that's what motivates me, is just knowing that like at the end of this, there may not be the reward that I think, but if I'm true to myself, I have an intrinsic reward of like finally, I think, knowing who I am more than I ever have in my whole life. So that was a little bit of ramble, but I hope
Oh,
that
I
makes sense.
love it. I love it. So Carrie also has a good point right here too in her comment, which is huge. Accountability is great for turning the mindset around. Get
Yeah.
together with others, meet in person. And I'll tell you, that's right.
This
Carrie, Brooke, and yours truly, Fulfillment. We meet in person about once a month, go to a local coffee shop,
Mhm.
and we check in with each other. We collab, we brainstorm, we innovate, we do things as friends.
And we
We make it happen.
sometimes cry,
Yeah.
and we sometimes are like, "I'm never gonna work again," but then someone's right there to remind you that you're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got a few more minutes, Brooke, so I want to ask the final question here for folks in the audience. Like, stay tuned for a little bit because we've got a couple of updates that we want to share after this last question. So don't go anywhere. Keep the comments coming. But Brooke, this
Yeah.
has been incredible. A lot of amazing insights. A lot of things that I haven't even thought about before that I've written down. What is the kind of the key takeaway, right, that you want the audience listening live or those folks on the replay to remember and to take away
Yeah.
from our live here, and why?
So, well, and let's put a few new things out because let's each maybe what are some actual true tactical things that people can do today and tomorrow to move their job search forward, to move their branding forward. Um, I don't know if there's not a third thing. Let's just say
Hey,
those two things.
yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, if I were starting my job search over today, I would probably spend 20% of my time applying for jobs and 80% of my time reaching out to people in person on LinkedIn and saying, I love what you're doing over there, David Hansen. You're killing it at the company that you work for. Sorry, I can't see. Um, I'm on the market for this kind of job. Who are two people that you know that I should talk to? And get in conversation. LinkedIn's a job board, but LinkedIn is a relationship builder and it's a conversation starter.
Yeah,
And that's how you build your name and your brand.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the
What
2080. I love the 2080. It's the what is it? It's the Pareto principle. That's kind of what I think about, right? Where it's like 80 you 80 or the 80-20 rule, right? Like 20% of the inputs, 80 concentrating testing it, 80% of the results come from 20% of the inputs,
yeah,
which is nice, right?
yeah.
I completely agree with you. It is
What
it
would
is
you do?
what would I do?
Or what's your one piece of takeaway advice for people? I'm
I
turning the
mean,
table still.
what would I do? I mean, I would embrace I again, like the list I had of people, I would embrace people like that. I would start with people that again that know who you are, who can lift you up when shit hits the fan and shit's really hard, right?
Yeah.
Because it's tough,
Yeah.
especially like after a layoff or a termination, whatever, something happens or a life event that
Right.
happens. You're going to be in that state of depression. You may start getting depressed. I'll tell you, I was depressed for it. I I lost my job in 2020. It took me a year to start fulfillment formally.
Yeah. Oh, did he freeze? Is it just me? I'm in charge now. I can't sing. Sorry.
There we go. There she is. All right, there
Hi.
we go. Hey,
I tried to be in charge for a minute, but
no, you were fine. We are back. We're back in. We were making it happen.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. I would really surround yourself with the people that know your value, your impact, and your worth for sure.
Yeah.
And while you do that, I would say do a hobby. Right, embrace a hobby, something that you love to do. I love to golf and I love to sing. Right, and I love to do this stuff.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
it's therapy
Right.
for me. Carrie
Yeah.
has something here
Find
too.
your people. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I have a 3x3x3 rule for job seekers. Create 3 LinkedIn posts per week, comment on 3 people's posts per day, and DM 3 people a day.
Right.
I like
It's and that doesn't take a lot of time. Like you
it.
can do that in 30 minutes a day. And I tell people all the time, LinkedIn is amazing, but it's social media and watch
Yep.
yourself
Yep.
just as much as you would on any other social media
Yep.
here too. Keep
Ab-
living your life. Keep your people close
absolutely. Absolutely.
and know
Absolutely.
that we are here for you.
Absolutely. We are. We've got Craig too here. Craig, thanks for being here, my man. It's been a while, brother. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, we are just wrapping up here. Amazing, amazing, amazing live. So we've got to bounce here in a few minutes, but a couple of things I want to share with the audience. Y'all, your comments were amazing. We really appreciate y'all. For those who are going to tune in on the replay, please let us know where you're tuning in from. Please share your feedback and your comments and your insights as well. We love doing these lives. We typically do them every Thursday around this time, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to get Brooke's LinkedIn page here on a QR code. Please connect with Brooke on LinkedIn. She is
Yeah.
flipping amazing, y'all. Like, please do. She's right here. She's available. She's happy to help. We're here. We're here for y'all. Captions. Let me get that up here. Here's her actual URL right there. But yeah,
Thank
please
you.
do. Please connect with Brooke, y'all. Please. Like, you're not in this alone. We're here to help you. We're here to support you. That's why we do what we do. Her website, Restoration Talent Solutions, right here. Easy. RestorationTalentSolutions.com. Very simple to remember.
Thank you.
Very simple to remember, y'all. Very simple to remember. But yeah, please connect with her LinkedIn. Of course, fulfillment. Go on Google, type in fulfillment. You see my website pops up, everything like that. Of course, on LinkedIn as well. I'm here. Please connect with me, y'all, if you are not already. We're gonna have a couple quick updates, real quick. So I am getting my newsletter out. I promise you guys, it's gonna be out soon, probably early May. It's gonna be called the Fulfillment Voice newsletter on LinkedIn. So when that comes out, please subscribe. We're gonna be talking about leadership development. We're going to be talking about recruitment. We're going to be talking about job seeking, all this kind of cool stuff. So that's coming soon. Stay tuned for that. We do have an updated referral program that we'll be launching here next week. So please stay tuned on content. I'm excited to share this one with you guys. It's going to be good. It's going to be very good. And of course, we've got a free job search course on my website, fulphillment.com. Please go there. Go to the top right. It says free job search course. If y'all need a little bit of value, click on that course. It's free and always will be free. Brooke, we're going to head over to Instagram. Stay
All right.
backstage with me. Y'all, please. I mean, this has been incredible. Thank you so much for your support. Brooke, any last words? Thanks for being here.
No, thank you so much, Phil. It's so nice to meet all of your friends, and I'm excited to see what this partnership brings for the next year.
Yes, I cannot agree more. Y'all, thank you so much. Our next Fulfillment LinkedIn Live will be next week. Stay tuned for the event post on that. It will be incredible. And we'll see y'all soon. Take care, y'all.
Bye.